What's a feeling that you experienced as a kid/teen that you can't experience again as an adult? I remember the last day of school so clearly now, even though it was so many years ago. Only one classroom all day since I was in a small school, and I never wanted to be out of a room so bad in my life. 1 o'clock, 1:15. The seconds passed so slowly I asked the teacher if the clock was broke. Finally 2 o'clock, 2:30, half an hour left, 2:45. Finally 3 o'clock, and that bell rang one last time for the school year. Off the bus, I never ran so fast as I did down that gravel road, flung my backpack and shoes into the house one last time for the year, and ran barefoot through the field to my favorite spot. A hay bale that was all the way in the back of the horse pasture behind our house. That was my favorite spot in the world, laying up there on top of that oversized hay bale, staring up into the cloudless Kansas sky. I felt like my whole life was ahead of me. 3 months. That's an eternity when you are 8 years old. 3 months and I could do anything I wanted. I had been waiting for this day for weeks. I could play in the creek, I could fish, but most of all I could lie here all day on my hay bale if I wanted and dream about my baseball career, girls, about all the wisdom my dad would impart to me if I could get him to talk. The warm summer sun felt so good against my face as I lie there staring up, feeling the gentle breeze. I just wanted to lie on that bale forever. But what about September, I thought? Forget September, it will never get here. 3 months is an eternity. But eventually September did get there. The last day of summer I laid there on that bale all day long, from breakfast until dinner. I heard my mom calling for supper, but I didn't go that night, against what I knew was certain punishment. I didn't want that summer to ever end. I daydreamed that day about what it would be like to be older. I'm going to get a field full of hay bales, I thought, and no one can ever call me in for supper. I'll be my own man. But I never got a field. And I got married and had kids and cars and a mortgage and a fenced backyard in the suburbs. There are bills to pay and events to go to and responsibilities to keep. And I haven't seen a hay bale in years. The lack of sexual dynamics. It's Pandora's box. Once you discover sexuality, crushes, love, etc., you can never go back to the simpler times before you realized it exists. I had a group of male friends that I loved to hang out with as a kid. We would play in the creek and roughhouse and generally go buck wild. Then a new kid moved into town, and puberty hit, and they didn't want me to hang out with them anymore because they wanted to talk about girls and I was one. I contributed a bit, I guess, because I had a crush on one of them that I was so subtle about. It still sucked a lot though. I miss playing in the creek with my friends. Time passing much slower than it does now. My first 10 years of life felt 2 times longer than my past 10 years. The feeling of nearly endless possibilities. Back then there were so many wide open possibilities. There still are plenty of adventures ahead of me, but I know what's realistic now. How long an hour last? When I was a kid, having an hour to watch TV or play video games seemed like an eternity. Now if I have just an hour to watch TV or play games, I really question if it is worth it. Being lifted by your parents with ease. That last day of school. The weather always managed to be perfect. We didn't have to bring our backpacks to school. Everyone was just buzzing with laid back yet excited feels. No one was being a dick to each other and the teachers loosened up. There was food in class. People even dressed up just a little bit because why not? This feeling didn't carry over to college because the last day was stressed with finals and moving out of dorms. It always felt so rushed. Maybe someday I'll be able to have a family and be able to experience it secondhand through my own kids. Having a sleepover with your best friend. Like, yeah, I can do it now, but it's just not the same. When you're being pushed on a swing and you get really high up and there's that feeling like you're flying on top of the world. The thrill of skipping school. Now when I skip a class, it's a class I'm paying for, and it just feels wrong. Being proud of staying up until sunrise. That Christmas feeling. Everything just seemed so magical. Now, it's just, bleh. You kind of get some of that back when you have kids. Their joy and excitement becomes your joy and excitement. The feeling of pretending to sleep in the car just so your parents can carry you inside your bed. That fascination with every little thing in life. Everything is new and amazing. The joy of following and watching my favorite TV/cartoon series. A few years ago, when I was in early 20s, I tried to rewatch the old series that I remembered I enjoyed so much when I was 11 years old. But everything was just flat and boring and unexpectedly simple. I mean, obviously since it's for kids. I guess my adult brain cannot enjoy it the way my child brain could, lol. I am probably subconsciously seeking for more complex message and storytelling. The amount of people saying happiness is concerning. Having zero responsibilities. When I was 15 or 16 I started working over the summers and pretty quickly I realized that my last totally responsibility free summer was already gone. That was one hell of a growing up moment to have. I was expecting cool stories, but this comment section is just depressing. I feel like I was never a teen because I haven't experienced 99% of these things yet. Yup, haven't felt a single one of these and now I'm just sad. How easy it was to make friends. It was literally just what's your name, age, do you enjoy breathing, oh me too. Boom, you've got someone to hang with. Yes. I definitely took that for granted as a kid. I wish I could make friends that easily as an adult. Being able to do so many physical things without feeling sore or achy the next day. When I was in my early teen years I could run for miles, do 50 pull-ups, 100 sit-ups, and not even get tired. My arms were covered in veins, strength was so natural. At 18 in army basic training it got a bit harder. By age 22, I somehow lost my ability to run like that and struggled to go a mile. Everything became harder. There is no going back to that. Smoking probably had a lot to do with it. Don't smoke, kids. Pure bliss. Being naive about bills, complications of relationships, heartbreak, loss, cheating, abuse, etc. There's times in my adult life when the sky is a certain color, the sun isn't too bright, the breeze is just right, and I get a glimpse of one time during my childhood that I was purely happy. One time. It keeps me going. That excited feeling you get on your birthday. Now that I'm an adult and have to use vacation time to have a day off for it if I want to, makes it feel like any other day. When something was so funny that you'd laugh uncontrollably. Like that laughter where you're genuinely concerned you will die of suffocation. Laughter where you're sore the next day from it. I'll still occasionally have it for short bouts, but it's not the same. Young love. Love is still great when you're older. But there's nothing like one last kiss before you rush home to almost beat curfew. Or sneaking around for young love. I remember it was always so exciting because I wasn't really scared of getting in serious trouble but still tried to be as sneaky as possible. It was like your own little James Bond mission. And then getting that kiss and feeling so excited. That first love. You know, when everything is new and nothing else matters. The rush is when you both are inexperienced. Sitting and talking about the future like you got half a clue. The heat of their breath. The sound of their laugh. Those moments of pure happiness with someone your whole being wants to be with forever. That devastating heartbreak. The joy of losing a tooth. Yeah, that shit is terrifying now. The stuff of nightmares. Playing deep story-driven games for the first time with awe and wonder. Playing each new Final Fantasy as they came out was pure magic. Playing the new ones today is just doing it to say I've done it. I don't have the magic I had as a child to attach to and grow with the characters I'm playing. The magic of a snow day. I remember listening to the news hoping to hear my school mentioned, and when it was just so exciting. Getting back into my pajamas to watch cartoons and later going out to play in the snow with my dog. I'm not even sure if that's something kids these days get to experience, since now it's possible to do things online and get assignments sent to them electronically. Not having grief or guilt. Being able to use the "my parents aren't letting outside today, so I don't think I can do hangout" excuse. So the feeling would be comfortable with a solid excuse. Now I get anxious whether or not my reason for staying in is believable enough. The excitement of going on a class trip, like going to camp, and just the freedom without the responsibilities of work. The feeling of happiness because you had trustworthy friends that you can tell anything to, loving parents that support you no matter what, and a feeling like no matter what happens, everything will be alright in the end. That feeling right before you go on a field trip. You all meet in the classroom and it smells like sunscreen. There's that ball of excitement in your stomach because you know that today is different. Innocent, excited anticipation. The feeling you had when your mom bought you new shoes and you were convinced the shoes made you run fast as hell. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily Reddit videos.